Wednesday. It's me, Hugh, and Jen is back from Scotland.
Hi, everybody.
She went there because the weather's so good.
Yeah, you can't expect someone to get a tan when they're in Scotland. That's definitely.
We got some feedback going on.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it was.
It was Facebook.
Facebook.
Hey, when I'm talking to
there you
myself, I want to be doing it in my head. Don't need everyone to know about it. Yeah.
Well, anyways, it's live TV, and we're back here after because somebody had their Facebook on. But anyways, because we're streaming live now, right on Facebook. Isn't
On
that incredible?
Facebook and to YouTube, and where else are we streaming live?
All these different
We're streaming
sites.
live everywhere. Just
Thatchannel.com.
all over the place.
So let's introduce our first guest of the day. We have Karen-Skidmore joining us, who's an old friend of yours, right, Jen?
Well, I was a fan before I was a friend.
Yeah, that's the way. I know you're good at that, aren't you? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I've seen you
cozying
in
up to
action.
famous people and like, hello, would you like to be my? No, that just sounds creepy now. It sounds like I'm some kind of weird stalker. But
Well, the world is different now.
yes,
Wait, when did it change?
Well, I guess with social media and all the cyber inappropriateness that is possible
What do you
now.
mean inappropriateness?
Well, it's
Let's-
it can be challenging to know when you're being too intrusive in your fandom
yes,
and
Oh,
whether
as being a
friendship is
fan.
welcome and so
Right.
on. But anyway, yes, we are friends. You were a fan, but you are my friend, and that's the bottom line.
That's the way it goes, right? And
Well,
that's nice though, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
nice. Karen, was it? How many years were you at Stratford?
A total of 7 on stage. 7. Yeah.
And with because so I would have seen you on stage before I worked at Stratford backstage, and then I think that Sound of Music one of the last times you
That
were
was
there?
the year 2000. The year 2000, and and I was on stage 2 more seasons after that,
Okay.
and then behind the scenes doing fundraising, ticket sales, and then was rescued and whisked away, and I married and moved to Acton. So
And we're not going to make that joke. We already went through that about the action joke. We're not going to do that.
Oh, okay,
Not going to do it.
that's good. I actually don't know what the Acton joke is, so I will.
it's worth the drive to Acton.
Oh, okay.
It
Oh,
was
that's-
a tag ad
for the
old
Hyde
Hyde
House.
House. Yes.
It's like, and probably seriously, how many times when you say you're from Acton,
Everyone
do people
says
say
it.
that?
Everyone. Everyone says it. And then I always say, updates on the status of, there's a beautiful new GO train station in the parking lot of the Hyde House. And they have about half the size of the warehouse space available for shopping and stuff. So things have changed. But
Look, okay, quick question. I don't know why I'm asking this question, but like when you want to go somewhere bigger than Acton, where do you go? Do you go to Guelph?
I choose, depending on the time of the movie.
Yeah.
I can choose to go to Guelph, 2 cinemas, Milton. Sometimes I go to Mississauga. I have activities in Orangeville. I can very easily get to Brampton. Brampton's another option.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can get to the city in 2 or 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Toronto.
Right.
Boy, Acton sounded better all the time.
I'm thinking that too.
You know?
Yeah. Okay, so
Maybe we should move the whole show to Acton. Why? Don't
Well, now
ask
there's
why.
GO train service. Yes, absolutely.
know.
door to Acton. That's
Pretty much.
But this is exciting because you're actually in town because you've got a new show.
Yes, so I'm part of, have just become part of a sort of a collective called Wellseasoned Productions, which is started by Anne Wooten and Leslie Ballantyne, who started to get the feeling that there were many, many senior performers who are underrepresented on stage, especially now, and so they thought how much fun it would be to put together a musical review or 3, which is what's happening this year, to showcase these senior artists and give them an opportunity to do their party pieces, but also create a theme and a flow-through sort of storyline. And so we have a terrific show going this weekend at Daniel's Spectrum, which is a gorgeous venue in the middle of almost nowhere, Regent Park, Parliament and River, basically, and Dundas and Parliament.
It's about a 20-minute walk of that away from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's worth the walk. By the way.
gorgeous theaters inside this concept space. And we're putting on a show this weekend called That's Life. And That's Life is a review about the joys and sorrows of aging. I myself will sing a song called Twisted, which I'm sure...
Are you kidding me?
I no kid you. No, because...
My owls told you.
Exactly. That whole thing about we're always questioning, and even as we get older, we're questioning our concepts of ourselves and our relationship to our world. It gets harder and harder because things stop matching our worldview of ourselves. And we, even to think of myself as a senior, I'm like, what?
I know.
This
no
isn't
kidding.
right. It's all wrong.
I'm still waiting to get my first job. Real job.
Well, this is my first job as a senior, which is really pretty exciting. So myself, A. Frank Ruffo, Scott, there's two Scotts, Scott Smith, there's, there's the list of people goes on, Pam Hyatt, Leslie Ballantyne and Ann Wooten are directing, music director, John Pugh. I mean, there's just, I can't even begin to list everybody.
Stephen Woodjett's involved in
He
this
was, but sadly had a couple of health issues, and so
no.
I had to go get dealing with that, but left us with some beautiful arrangements, which is
Oh,
nice.
it's lovely.
So,
Yeah, because you know him through Stratford as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was the show like custom written for this company?
Yes. So here's how it all went down. Anne and Leslie got this concept together with Scott Walker, who is the CSARN, which is the organization of creating support for seniors. And they got this idea, and they had a fundraiser, and then got some money. Then they got a grant from an organization called New Horizons for Seniors, federal new program to try to create opportunities for seniors to remain active, to become active in their field. So, and then got this grant to get a barn and mount 3 shows. So there are 3. The first one is this weekend, September 30th, October 1st, October 2nd. And so I went to sort of the fundraising kickoff, and then I got involved in the Indiegogo, which is still ongoing. And then they offered for submissions anyone interested in being in a review. So, of course, I put together a really great big presentation with my resumes and my concert programs from the past, and I'm so grateful to have been chosen for this first show. But I'm sure I will support the other 2 in some way, sweep, give out programs. I don't know what. I want to be involved. It's like a collective. Some people are at the first time. Some people are at the
But are they going to still cast for it? So you might even be in it still?
I'm not even, no. It expressly states in the
I
mandate
see.
that there were 3 different casts. So that's my understanding anyway.
So the idea, everybody gets to be...
Lots of people get a chance.
You
great.
get to do multiple roles.
That's
and
right.
Everybody gets a chance at
Yeah.
the glory
Sure.
roles
Yeah.
like you're getting in this one.
Yeah. Oh, the voices are amazing. Nothing has been lost with the passage of time. This is the exciting thing.
From the voices.
The voices of people singing. Scott Walker singing a Cole Porter song. I'm just like, how come I never heard that voice? I'm just like, wow. The other Scott, Scott Smith singing. It's just so exciting. Then we have these choral numbers, which are lightly staged, and some new music by David Warwick. That's like actually his music, which I've never done, learning, and arrangements by David Warwick, medleys, things put together. For example, What I Did for Love and The Way We Were in a medley. It's so awesome. The voices coming in and out, and things that you will have not ever heard this way, and things that are totally new, and things that are completely familiar. I'm going to sing Try to Remember, for example. And
I just always remember the Air Force doing a running joke about Ronald Reagan singing that.
I know. Well, the song right after Try to Remember is the short-term memory loss blues. So, I mean, we're really trying to pull at every aspect of this. It is not all that much fun to be growing old, but then it also has its rewards. So,
well, and I do notice that that as performers age, their voices deepen, their way of understanding music is richer.
Yes.
There's so much more that you can get out of a song if you've done it 10 times.
And if you've lived it 50 times.
Yeah.
I mean, deep in December, it's nice to remember, although you know the snows will follow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember, without a hurt, the heart is hollow. Deep in December, it's nice to remember the fires of September that made us mellow. Try to remember, and if you remember, then follow. I mean, this our lives. We're really going down and digging deep and bringing out our lives and sharing. It's really quite glorious.
So, it's is it like a musical?
It's like it's like a musical. It's a review in that it's a series of numbers, but they're linked by theme,
by a little bit
and
of a,
one thing can lead to the next.
I see. So somebody had to kind of write that. Right?
Yes, and that was Scott Walker, Leslie Ballantyne, Ann Wooten, and Mark Cassius.
Now, how many performances are you doing?
3.
That's it?
Yeah.
All that work?
I know.
And then you only get 3 performances, right?
This time next week, I'll be at home going, what happened to me? Who am I?
But maybe it'll turn out into be a money maker. And you'll have to just rent out theaters just to...
Maybe bits and pieces of it will be picked up and used in some way. It's a collective, and so we're operating under a Canadian Actors Equity Collective Agreement where we get a portion of the door. So I get one share, and someone else gets whatever. Yeah. But it's not... I don't think anyone is in it for the money per se. We're in it for the opportunity. I was just sitting yesterday and looking around the room and thinking, it's been so long since I've been in a rehearsal hall with people and taking turns and doing their thing and clapping and supporting. And it's so great. I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
How long a rehearsal period have you had?
Well,
2.5 days.
Well, this week we went to the theater yesterday. We had Monday off and Saturday off, Sunday music rehearsal. Last week we had 4 days of music rehearsal. So it's very intensive, and it's totally planned to work around people's schedules, auditions, jobs, teaching commitments, and so on.
Which is a hard thing, because if you're going to be doing a show, you usually have to be doing nothing else. That means
exactly. But this is, again, a totally new concept. But that makes it difficult, really.
But how does it feel, sometimes, as a cast, as you're approaching opening night, you're going, we're not ready for this at all.
Oh, no one's ever ready, really. I mean, that's a given, I think, is that there's a point where you think, it's impossible, it's not going to happen. And you're crying, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you're pissy, whatever.
Does that even happen in Stratford?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah.
But they seem so professional.
Well, yes, but that's what the preview process is for. That's because you preview and rehearse, and the audience is paying a lesser rate because they know they're getting a work in progress.
I see.
So you will, put on a show and then have a 5-hour rehearsal to undo or change or fix or cut or add. I remember one day we had an ad number added the night before opening.
What?
In Stratford in Iolanthe in 1984. Totally new number added the night before we opened.
Whose idea was that?
Brian McDonald.
Why?
Bless his departed soul. Because the show needed it.
Oh, I
the
see.
rhythm, the pacing, the feel, there's something missing.
Yeah.
Wait a second. How did he add something to Gilbert and Sullivan? Was it just a piece that hadn't been...
It was taking a section of music and making it an instrumental-only dance break, and then add a tap number, and then call in his assistants and get them to choreograph a tap number. And, he, in the afternoon, gave us some steps, and he called me down, and he said to me, are you going to be okay with this? I said, oh, yeah. He said, okay, you come down front. There I was, moved right down because I had was one of the, in Gilbert and Sullivan, there's certain numbers of characters in certain positions, and I was like the third of the fourth of the third level of principal, right? So, okay, you come on down. So I was down front and center, and I said I could do it. So there I was, bleeding at the feet in the dressing room, rehearsing it with friends, trying to get it. Anyways, and then we went on, and it was a huge hit. And of course, it exists. It's extant in the video. Tap number, big tap number.
Those Gilbert and Sullivans, just to have been involved with those, because you did Gondoliers, you did
Mikado,
you did Iolanthe,
Gondoliers, Iolanthe, and Pirates of Penzance.
Right. Yeah.
There were others, but I was in those 4.
And those were absolutely my 4 favorites, and those were, and I wish they would show them more often because I don't know. I know that CBC. I think CBC has the footage. I don't know who actually owns
Well,
them
of course,
now.
that's a good point because I get like $12 every 5 years. So somebody's paying me something for something.
You know, those checks
Those
are more valuable framed than cashed.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you can see it on DVD, and I think you might even be able to watch it on digital format now. Who knows? All future technologies were included in the buyout, and that's the kind of problem that our unions didn't understand at the time.
Right.
Anyways, not union, associations. So there's even an homage in our show, That's Life, to Brian McDonald, because in one of the lyrics it says, just like those Gilbert and Sullivan things, and then we're doing a little choreography. So, yeah.
Those were always so much fun. Was that the first time you were at Stratford when you were doing the Gilbert and Sullivan?
1982. Yeah.
Okay. Just a wee slip of a thing.
Well, I was at school at the BAP Center in the musical theater program.
Okay.
Actually, in the music theater studio ensemble, and Brian McDonald came to some auditions for the summer programs, and he was looking to replace someone whose father had passed away, and that person wasn't able to fulfill the commitment in the Mikado, and he was desperately looking for someone to do it, and so he spotted me, and I got an offer on February 16th, 1982.
Oh my God.
And pretty
So,
exciting.
like a couple of weeks before they started rehearsing?
I think
or is
they started
they
a
started
month
a
or
little
so
bit
later,
later
yeah.
than-
But I was a replacement. I was just so fortunate, and the
That's-
rest is history.
Yeah, that's.
Do you know
really
that show?
cool.
Have you ever seen
Which
Mikado?
one?
The Mikado?
I
Gilbert
heard
and
it's
Sullivan?
Japanese oriented.
Yes.
That's all I know.
Yes, Gilbert and Sullivan is always talking about politics and morals, and they frame it in various environments. And this Mikado was basically an environment to give all kinds of political talk.
Really?
Oh yeah, and then
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then they would actually take some of the songs. There's a song in Mikado. I've got a little list where
And update it.
and they update it, so they throw in like I think in the one that you did there was people who do Rubik's cubes in 30 seconds flat, and it's all about the people he would execute if he could execute all the people he wanted to execute.
Oh, yeah.
So they were listing politicians, like current references go into
Yeah.
these updated songs.
Right. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
pretty cool.
We're updating a Cole Porter song. I heard Kardashian go by in the lyrics. I thought, okay, we've worked it. Excellent.
That's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and I don't know if you know my connection with Frank Rufo.
Oh,
that,
no.
That I did a musical at Rhubarb years ago, and Frank starred in it. And I have to admit, I hadn't heard of him for a long time, and I just kind of assumed that he'd gone. And to find out that
Good
he's
news. No.
not only
no.
alive, but doing show. He's
Maybe
such a
that's
lovely,
in this
wonderful
timeline.
man.
Maybe it was
Oh.
a Mandela effect thing,
No.
right? Because there's been others. Well, Mandela himself.
We talk about.
Do you know about the
maybe
Mandela
slipping in.
No.
Okay, we'll tie after the show.
Okay.
It's a separate.
Short form. We sometimes maybe think we've entered an alternate timeline where things we remember really did happen,
It's
but they
proven
don't
now.
happen.
No,
in
it's
this.
pretty much
Okay.
proven. It's a real thing.
Wow. Okay. Well, I need to know.
Oh, absolutely, because you might find out that there are things about you that you didn't know. Yes.
Yes, that's what the internet is for. Yes, A. Frank Rufo is so wholesome and well. He's just so great. I can't believe there's anyone shorter than I, and he is just a little, and he's sweet as anything. And so this is again one of the wonderful things about Well-Seasoned Productions is it's completely tailored to try to discover and then really, in a healthy way, work with seniors and find out what do you need to do to make a show with senior citizens.
Right.
So, you need to have people not wandering for ages, without help, or to be able to sit down. So A. Frank is going to be, in the front row for most of the show. Bill Orlowski, the tap dancer, will be here doing a number that he wrote about aging is not for sissies. And he will also be coming up and having a sit down, and so this is it's all about accommodation in the workplace these days. But we're talking about accommodation in theater for seniors, so they
Right.
can be fulfilled and do what they do, not be hampered by all of the regular expectations and limitations.
Right. Well, and how much of casting happens because you know that you're going to have to be pushed to your physical and emotional and limits. I mean, I think of shows at Stratford where I've heard that that they have a huge number of swings. Like the swings are like the dancers who learn more than one part so that they can go in when someone gets injured. And, I hear, 6 people are out for this show, 2 people are out for this show, 10 people are out for... Like, the number of people that get hurt doing the things, because there's... But then to actually think that instead of always pushing the limits, you're actually trying to represent more of what life is really like, as opposed to making a fantasy version of it.
And now that you mention it, we don't have any swings or understudies or replacements. And once the program is printed, I think we're just going to be, sorry, we had to let that go. Or I don't know what's going to happen, because we're full steam ahead. We've tried to make our decisions wisely and ready to do what we've committed to do. And, we're not without, what key is this going to be in? How long is it going to be? Is this going to work? Well, either cut it or change the key. Like that kind of talking has gone on too. And so this is what it is. And there are no backups.
Yeah.
So when is it again? It's 3 performances,
yes.
right?
So this Friday, September 30th at 8 p.m., Saturday, October 1st at 8 p.m., and Sunday, October 2nd at 2 p.m.
And then it's all over.
And they start rehearsing the next one, the name of which is, it's on here, it's Funny Bones. I think they've cast that and they're all ready to start rehearsing that. So.
And you're going to be involved in that too?
I'm
Is that going to be at the same venue?
Same venue. I'm not in that one.
And so, how long will it take to get that one ready?
I guess whatever day it's going on, Friday, November 4th, so it'll be ready.
Wow.
That'll be how long it takes.
Okay.
Now, they may find out, next year, if we do this again, we're going to have to allow more time or less time. Who knows what we'll discover. But, yeah. So, at Daniel's Spectrum Aki Studio, which is on the south side of Dundas at Sackville, just west of Parliament.
Yeah.
Just east of Parliament, west of River.
Just 20 minutes walk at the most that away.
Cool.
From here. I go by there every day. I went by there this morning.
He
there you
is
go.
pointing east for those in television land who may not
That away.
have it.
North of the Distillery District.
Yeah. That's right.
Just north of the
And
due north.
far more accessible by public transit than the Distillery District is.
Yes. Well, there's that.
Which is probably also good if you're. It's also it's nice to know that it's accessible for people who want to come and see it as well.
Absolutely.
Even if they're seniors with mobility issues or just people with mobility issues, and I'm babbling.
Yes,
but
it's
a great thing
accessible.
to be able to get.
And there's parking underground.
Oh.
Pay parking for $5, I think. And the restaurant in the complex, the Paint Box, is offering a deal if you present your ticket Friday and Saturday night. So that we're grateful for that support. They're not open Sunday. And
I think we have the Indiegogo campaign. So I think there's 1 month left in the Indiegogo to raise money for future productions, or
I'm not sure how long, but it's definitely available to be participated in. I did. I recommend it. I got perks. I got comps, which I'm going to avail you of.
You.
And yeah,
I'm piggybacking on your perks.
It feels good to support our seniors. I mean,
plus, I don't think seniors should be called seniors anymore.
No, you're right.
It's like this ageism thing, I don't,
Well, either that or we got to take the stigma out of senior and just think of senior as being someone who's more experienced, who's more knowledgeable, who's got more to offer.
Although, no need to intimidate the younger people with all that, right?
Right.
But, I really think it's time that we kind of let go all that generation gap stuff, right? You know what I mean? Remember there was a time you can't trust anybody over 30? Remember that?
And then those people turned 30 and realized it wasn't as bad as they thought.
Well, something happened, but that was the generation gap. But now I think we have to get over that.
Yeah.
And we just need, and let the senior people who have all that character that you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Just let them be themselves and let some of that wisdom trickle down.
Yes, and create a safe place for these things to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole retirement thing, that's so old now. People don't really want to retire. They want to keep doing what they love.
I understand when people leave full-time jobs, grown-up jobs, they are busier than they were when they were working. And I wondered, how do they ever have time to work? I mean, myself as an actor, it's completely different. But.
I know. Well, this has been great, Karen. Thanks for coming.
I'm so grateful to see you. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us, for Wellseasoned Productions. it's a good, well-deserving
Actually,
venue.
what's the website? We'll tell people where to get tickets and all that, right?
You can get tickets by accessing the website www.wellseasonedproductions.ca, and that will show you where to go, which is the nativeearth.ca /curtains up/ and that's the direct link to tickets. If you call in as well, you can do that. There's a phone number here on the card.
Yep. So the box office number is 416-531-1402 if you'd like to actually call. So 416-531-1402.
So we had those curtains.
Yeah, we have the
See that?
curtains. You have little curtains
Can we
going.
see it again? Because that's like
It's-
something to do with it. See that?
I like it.
Those are real curtains too. That's
Adorable.
They're real virtual curtains, anyway. And I think there's a link from the Wellseasoned Productions page to the Indiegogo campaign if you'd
that's
like to
right.
contribute
And
to this great
Facebook,
cause.
there's a Facebook event page, there's a Facebook Indiegogo page. We're working the social media, but really this is a lot of very lovely, kind, warm people trying to do good for others, and it's a happy event. And all of the shows are going to be super. I'm going to the other two as well.
Well, we'd love for you to come back
Thank you
anytime
so
you
much.
want and talk about whatever you want to talk
Wow!
about, Karen.
Or
Woohoo!
come in and sing.
Yeah.
You could totally
Yeah.
come in and sing for us.
Well,
Well-
let us all hope that I have some other wonderful project on the go personally later, but definitely we want to get someone else to come in from Wellseasoned
Let's get Chad
Productions.
Kroger. He's my hero.
Yay.
Okay. All right,
We're the
Karen.
only people who make inverse jokes about Nickelback. Instead of like running Nickelback down, we're always talking Nickelback up, apparently.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take a little break. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you
This
so
is great.
much.
We're going to come back with Michael Alexander right after this. I think we have the commercial, though, that you
Yeah.
Yes,
guys
an
did,
audio
so-
commercial, yes.
So we'll see you on